So we finally made it to 2021, a whole new year. Although TBH, it looks oddly similar to 2020. But this year is not 2020, which means we have to treat it differently than any year before. This is the first year we are starting off in quarantine, recognizing that it's probably going to be a couple more months before life looks typical, life looks normal again in our ministry and in our personal lives. This is also the first year that we are starting out with over 8 months of quarantine under our belt. That's a lot of baggage that we're bringing into this whole new year. And so with 2021 in front of us, how do we care for people in this time? How do we reach people online in 2021? As always, that's what we here at Digi are here to help you figure out. My name is Sammy, I'm here with Digivangelism, and today we are here to talk about digital ministry in 2021, what you need to know. As always, we're here this Tuesday morning and every Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern time with another podcast, video, and blog post all on the same topic. If digital ministry is important to you and you want to learn how you can be more and more effective at it this year and beyond, I also recommend that you subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you never miss a single video of us teaching you how to reach people online with the love of Jesus. With no further ado, let's get started. What you need to know, number 1 in 2021. Be aware of burnout. Burnout probably sounds like an old friend at this point, right? Not only are you likely burned out, but your people are likely burned out too. They are working jobs that they don't feel safe in, they are trying to figure out how to teach at home on the side, and most of their outlets and coping mechanisms and social outlets are just gone. But we don't have to tell you that. You know that intimately, you know it well. This year has been weird. And so we have to prioritize taking care of ourselves, especially our mental health in this time. For yourself, that might just mean being aware of how you're dealing with everything around you. If you haven't yet found a professional or a community to kind of walk with you through this time so that you can just process what is going on, it's a great time to still do so. It's also a great time to remember and spread the word that it is okay to take a break. It is okay for you to change what your ministry looks like. It's okay if you're not doing what you would normally be doing this time of year. It's okay if your volunteer needs a week off, or a month off, or a year off. It's okay if things need to adapt again and again. It's hard, but it's okay. Part of caring for yourself and acknowledging this burnout is just allowing yourself the space you need. Change pace over and over again. Focus on what is manageable today, not yesterday and not tomorrow, but what can you do today? Last but not least on this topic, we want to urge you again and again to just spread the love when it comes to digital ministry. And what we mean by that this time is that ask people to jump on board to help you out. You don't need to do everything. In fact, you should not be doing everything for your community. Do not bear the burden of reaching your people online alone. Find the people that have gifts or availability to help you in ways that you need some assistance. That could be creating posts, it could be making the posts, it could be dreaming up the post, technical aspects in the background, whatever it is. Get people on board to help. And if you ask and no one is coming out of the woodwork to help, it's time to start making some phone calls. And if you don't have the time or the energy to make those phone calls, it's okay, but you need to get someone on board who can help you make those phone calls, to get someone on board to help you with your digital ministry. This is not a thing you do alone. Digital ministry is ministry, and ministry is what we do together. What you need to know, number 2, you need to know that you need to humanize your social media. Lisa Jenkins over at Social Media Examiner says that people connect with people. Church leaders know this intimately when it comes to their day-to-day ministry life. Yes, absolutely, 100%. But for some reason, it's easy to forget when you get behind the screen of a foreign social media platform that you're just not sure what to do with. Instead of taking the easy way out and just posting random quotes or graphics on your social media profiles, do what you know best and connect with people by using people, yourself, your staff, your leadership. People connect with people, so show some people. Share faces of those around you. Share your people, share their opinions, share your opinion. Share an update of what you're doing that day. Share updates of what your church is doing that day behind the scenes. Share ways that people can connect with other people, like yourself and your staff and your leadership. Your people that are online are so overly saturated by brands and sales and advertising. They don't need to see constant reminders about worship and events coming up. Yes, they may actually need a reminder of some sort, but most of your social media should not be just sales or advertising. In fact, we recommend that only 20% is advertising, events or worship of that sort of thing, but then the other 80% is wide open for all sorts of types of social posts. If you need some ideas of what you could be posting, click up here. But for now, we're just saying share some faces, humanize your social media, make sure that your people are connecting with the people behind the screen. What you need to know, number 3, People are looking for your community now more than ever. There is someone in your vicinity that this week is going to type into Google churches near me. That person is probably desperate to connect with God, desperate to connect with another human being in this time, and that is why your church needs a website. People are looking for communities just like yours in this difficult time, and so your church needs a website so that they can find you. Now, if you're totally starting from square one on this and are looking for a quality hosting site, we would recommend Bluehost, of which we use and of which we are now a proud new affiliate for. Very cool. So the link is in our description if you are interested. If you sign up for Bluehost, which we do use ourselves at digivangelism.org, we would get a small kickback, but Bluehost has been awesome for us. It made it really easy for our non-website guru, which is me, to set up the initial website, and then our website guru could come in and fix it up. But I was able to set it up initially, and there are tons of WordPress blogs and videos. You can Bluehost with WordPress. Just DM us if you're looking for someone to help you set all of that up. Point is, it was easy for a beginner to do, so if you're at square one and you need someone to get started, there you go. Now, if you are far from square one, but maybe not much past square 2 or 3, then we recommend you check out this video of how to make your website more SEO friendly. Search engine optimization is SEO, and so you want to optimize your website for the search engine that someone is Googling in this week, looking for your church. The important thing is to not make this person Googling for your church in their time of need hunt too far for it. You also don't want them hunting too far for the information that needs to be on your church website. Now, we recommend that you have someone that doesn't go to your church do a website and social media audit. Having someone from outside your community look at all of your content really will give you an outside perspective of maybe what's missing, of what they would have questions about, what's confusing, and really their findings will probably surprise you. You might think anything everyone would need to know is up on our site, up on our social platforms, but maybe you know where it is, but maybe someone on the outside can't find it as readily. So definitely ask someone to do a church audit for your social media and for your website, because people will be looking. Thing you need to know, number 4, quality versus quantity. So as social media becomes more and more saturated, and as you perhaps become more and more burnt out, please hear this good news. You don't need to post every single day. You really don't. What is far more important is that you make every post that you make count. Connect with your people with the posts that you are making. Connect with them with quality. Now, this doesn't mean you have to make every single post some kind of professional creation or graphic or whatever it is, but it does mean looking into the analytics of how your posts have been doing. Consider what have been your top posts and making more posts that reflect similarly those posts. It is far better that you take a few more days in between your posting and give something of value, give something helpful or insightful, than it is that you just like crank out daily posts that are kind of subpar anyway. As social media becomes more and more saturated than what it already is, it will be easier and easier than it already is to ignore content that is posted with minimal effort. So take some time to understand what your people respond well to, and then focus on the quality, not the quantity of your content. Thing you need to know, number 5. Impact versus attendance. We know you probably want to check attendance every single Sunday, and for some churches, attendance is intimately connected to the identity of the church itself. You can literally feel the church's self-worth increase or decrease based on how many people are in the pews that week. But now is the time to rethink how you measure your impact each week. Maybe only 3 people show up to your attempted in-person event, but how many people did your leaders connect with that week, online or offline? Maybe you don't have as many people live on your Zoom meeting for a week, but how many people watched the live stream of that Zoom meeting or the recording of that Zoom meeting when you posted it? How many people watched more than a minute of it even? And maybe no one responded to your email that you sent out, but how many people liked the content when you posted it on Facebook? How many of those people actually commented and reflected on it and engaged with what you posted? These days are weird days, that's for sure, but in these days, virtual visits are more important than visible signs of someone being at worship. Direct messages with someone become more important than dedicated members. And engagement online can be even more important than eagerness to volunteer. Give some space these days for people to connect with you and your community in ways that don't always mean attendance in worship. and let that be enough. What you need to know, number 6, repurposing your content. Before I go on, I have to acknowledge a video that we made about repurposing sermon content, so click up here if that's of any interest to you. But content itself, it doesn't have to be just sermons. This could be something that you created. Maybe it's a graphic, it's a video, or maybe it's content you've written that's not a sermon. It could be a devotion, it could just be words of wisdom that you came up with. Think about how you could share these pieces of content on multiple platforms and in multiple ways. For example, graphics created for Facebook can often be posted on Instagram easily as well, and they might even find a home on your website, in your weekly email, or on your weekly worship slideshow. Videos recorded for Facebook could also be uploaded onto YouTube to increase your repertoire. If you're deciding to go live one day or one night, you could have 2 devices set up and go live on 2 different platforms. Maybe it's Facebook and TikTok, or Instagram and YouTube. Finally, if you're writing a message or a devotion or just words of wisdom, consider how you can use these in multiple ways. Don't waste your effort. Can you write it out for an email blast but then also share it on your Instagram story? Can you make it into a TikTok but then also share that TikTok on Instagram Reels? Can you tweet some of it on Twitter and then some of it gets read on a Facebook Live video? There is an overwhelming amount of options for how this could look for you and your community, but the best option is always the platform or the platforms that your community is most active on. That's where you want to be. Start small and start where your people are. That's it for today, friends. If this video was helpful for you, please be sure to like it and subscribe so you don't miss a single video of digital ministry goodness in the days and weeks to come. Today we brought the knowledge, and now it's your turn to put it into action. Peace.